how to level up your detailing.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today we're going to go over a couple strategies to level up your detailing. By leveling up, we mean as a professional, increase your efficiency. As a hobbyist, increase the quality and make detailing more fun for you. So those are things we want to level up as we're detailing.
Well, it's more fun when you're getting good results, Ivan. And that's just like, they kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
All right,
Definitely.
So we wanted to talk about, like we wrote down a few tips, but the first one you mentioned, and I think this is interesting, is add patience. What did you mean by adding patience?
So a lot of us are very impatient. We want the result immediately. And there are times when patience is the best detailing tool you can have. In other words, slow down to speed up. That is one of the things. The slower you move, generally the faster you get the job done. If you've seen our videos, you see Nick hustling and trying to work very fast. And for me, it doesn't even look like I'm moving most of the time, but I get done before Nick does because I leverage efficiency and I leverage moving the tool slower, moving the tool smoother, making sure, so using, being methodical, getting everywhere. Whereas someone like Nick is, did I do this area? And then you go back over it. So by going back over it, you're wasting time because you forgot whether you did it or not. And that's where your strategy of leaving the polish residue on the vehicle until you're ready to wipe off the whole vehicle, as opposed to myself, I wipe off one section at a time. There's nothing wrong with either way. And for you, it works because it gives you a visual cue that, yes, I've done this. I can see the polish residue on it. I don't need to go back over it. So you're, the little hamster grinding, running on the wheel is going, okay, I've done this. I can move on. The other thing that patience is needed for is when there's a problem. In other words, you've had a bird dropping on the car and it's sat on there a couple days too long. So it may have etched the surface. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll wash away the bird dropping, see the etching, and then immediately start sanding and polishing and doing all that. Let it sit in the sun for a couple days. You'll be amazed what your clear coat can do. And because that etching, especially in the fall, unfortunately we're past that now. We're recording this a week before Christmas. And speaking of a week before Christmas, we have this thing on our website called gift certificates. So if you have a detailer that you're really not sure what to buy for, get them a gift certificate. Very easy way of doing that. In the fall, especially when berries are ripe, bird droppings become colorful and it can actually stain paint. So if you have a white or light colored car and the bird dropping sits on there for a day or two too long, what happens is that bird dropping can actually stain the paint. Do not be in a rush to correct that. Let the sun, the UV rays of the sun actually work for you and get rid of that staining. If you're going to be sanding and polishing, you're actually damaging the vehicle more than that stain is, and that stain will come out.
So what would you do then?
Wash the car, get rid of the bird, get rid of the bird dropping itself, and then just let it be. Let it be for a couple days. You'll be amazed what the sun can do. And clear coat is a plastic. It is basically self-healing to a point. So an etching like that was caused by a traumatic shock of chemical, which is what the bird dropping is, let the coating or let the clear coat self-heal from that.
Okay, Ivan, always learning.
And if after a week there's still staining or there's still an etching, then proceed.
I'm always struck by the fact that there's a lot of people out there who really know detailing, who listen and watch our podcast. And there's lots of beginners out there who still have never heard of a rinseless wash. But
right.
Another item on our list of how to level up your detailing is just use DIY Detail Rinseless Wash. It is so incredibly versatile. You could use it for windows. You can use it as a clay lube. You can use it to wash your car. You can use it for interior detailing. It goes in the pad washer system, so we have the way to clean and then dampen our pad. Ivan, what else am I missing out on? What else can Rinseless Wash do, and why is it leveling up people's game?
So Rinseless Wash, first of all, if we just take the washing aspect of the vehicle, anything soap can do, Rinseless can do just as well, other than create foam. That's the only difference. But they both clean as well. They both act as a pre-cleaner or a pre-treat just as well. They both release the dirt. They both do the same thing. Where you're leveling up by using a rinseless wash, especially as a professional, is in time savings. That last rinse takes you 2 or 3 minutes going around the vehicle. That last rinse uses more water. That last rinse puts more water on the ground, meaning, if you don't have an extremely efficient drain, et cetera, et cetera. So every drop of water we can prevent from putting on the vehicle, that's less water in the drain. That's less water that we have to clean up. In our shop that we film in, right behind you there, the floor isn't exactly sloped to the drain. We have a speed bump for the water. So we've washed cars purely rinseless, and we like it because we're not getting our feet wet. So those are little things that level up. You mentioned the rinseless on the interior. Rinseless on the interior is a formidable tool. It is something that if you haven't tried it, if your only use for a rinseless wash is cleaning the interior, get rinseless wash anyways. It is a great interior cleaner. We have Interior Clean Protect, which is a cleaner as well. But the rinseless wash is a little stronger, and you already have your bucket. I did a training a little while ago, and we decontaminated the outside of 2 vehicles with the one bucket. And then I cleaned the interior of a car using that same bucket. And the students were like, but it's dirty. No, the rinseless wash, basically anything that can be harmful goes to the bottom of the bucket. And I clean the interior using a white towel. They could see that, the dirt I rubbed off the steering wheel with the white towel, great. But the rest of the towel stayed clean, even though it was dunked in the rinseless wash. So that is something, rinseless wash, and glass cleaner, same thing. So leveling up for a professional, when you're using a rinseless wash, you can eliminate 2 or 3 products from your arsenal. That means for your employees, they have 2 or 3 less decisions to make as to what product to use. It makes it simpler, it makes it faster, and makes it more efficient for you.
Well, you talked about slowing down to speed up earlier. That was on our notes, but also using less products and more intelligence. And I imagine rinseless wash is sort of the cornerstone of that principle.
Yeah. And also, just when one spray can do, why not put 4? Well, it's the other way around. The less product you use, the less work you have to do. So an example, if we use Envy as a drying aid, 1 spray on the panel is all you need. I've seen some people, just over here, anyways, use 3, 4, 5 sprays. You have to work harder to level that off than I do. You have to work harder drying the vehicle than I do, because I just used 1 spray because that's all that's needed. So that is something that leverage the quality of the product to do the work for you, as opposed to the quantity of the product.
And Envy is really just 1 spray per panel. That's all you need.
1 spray per panel is all you need. Now, it's very important that, let's say on a hood, okay, hoods are a little bigger, maybe put 2 sprays, 1 on each side. But if you put your spray of Envy at the lower edge of the hood, but you put your towel down close to the windshield, of course, it's not going to do a good job. So you have to look, where did I put the spray of product? And I start from there, and I use my drying towel to spread the product as I'm applying it to the surface.
So should I not flip my drying towel too soon after I spray the product so that I can keep working it in? Or what's the best principle there?
For myself, I'll use 1 quadrant or 1 area of the towel until it's soaked. I like our mini drying blankets and our mini twist towels because I'm not flipping the towel all the time. I'm just using that same towel as far as it will go until it gets wet. And then I switch over to the other towel.
A lot of people like the mini drying blanket, Ivan.
Yeah, it's a fun little towel. And it's one that people look at the size. It's 8 inches by 16 inches. So it's a small towel. People look at it and go, oh, I'm going to need like 20 of these to dry a car, because they're used to these big monstrous towels. Well, I can get around a full-size SUV with 1 towel and get it dry if you use a drying aid, and if the car was coated or sealed before and it's not too contaminated. Contamination is a big hindrance when it comes to drying, and people don't realize it. When your vehicle's contaminated, your towel is never going to be able to dry it properly, or it will eventually, but it makes it a lot harder to dry. So when you feel that towel dragging, when you see that the vehicle is harder to dry, that is a cue that, hey, maybe I need to decontaminate the vehicle. So the next time you wash it, decontaminate it, and you'll find, oh, wow, it's fun again. So again, leveraging intelligence instead of working harder. When you see that something is wrong, fix it instead of just pushing through.
So would you say like I could just use a decon towel and iron remover and call it a day, or do I need to do decon towel, iron remover, rinse, water spot remover, agitate, and rinse? Like, do I have to go the full decon? Can I do a half C's? Because you're not always ready to do the whole kahuna in your everyday wash.
No, and for me, in my shop, I've said this many times before, our favorite service was a wash, clay, and seal. That's getting rid of the mechanical, you're using the decontamination towel with the rinseless and with the NV combined. That way you're applying the NV, and at the same time, you're mechanically decontaminating. So you're not getting the little iron particles. You're getting the iron particles off. You're not getting the little rust stains off, and you're not getting the water, the mineral contamination off, but you are getting that all on the surface, little contaminants that are coming off or they're being shaved off or plucked off with the decontamination towel. And using NV as a drying aid, it's going to make it easier to dry, wash everything the next time. So it's a little additional step, and it might add 10 minutes to the whole routine, if that. But it just makes it easier, makes it simpler the next time. It's like someone that they have a slow leak in their tire, and for 6 months, they'll get out an inflator and inflate their tire every, 3 or 4 days because the TPMS on the dash is saying your tire's low, instead of going to a tire shop and having it fixed. Yes, it takes a little effort and time to go to the tire shop to have it fixed, but in the long run, it's a lot faster, a lot simpler, and a lot safer.
That makes sense. Speaking of doing things the right way, everything having a place, I believe there's a French term for that.
Yeah, mise en place. So putting it in its place is the translation.
So let's talk about that. There might be the apartment dweller, there might be the person with the home garage. Not everyone's got a similar setup. How can they leverage mise en place? Mise en place.
Mise en place. Mise, new word en, new word place.
Mise en place.
Yes.
How can they leverage that, Ivan?
They can leverage it by, first of all, doing it. A lot of people talk about it, but never actually do it. And mise en place starts with when you're done washing the vehicle. So you're done washing the vehicle this time, put everything away, get things ready for the next time. So in your wash bucket, if you're using rinseless wash, clean out the bucket. You can actually put the rinseless wash in now if you want, and add the water next week, but don't do that. But or if someone is washing on a daily basis, you're a professional setting where you're using your wash bucket all the time. At night, dump out the wash bucket, get it ready to go for the next morning. Even put the water in, put the rinseless in. That way, the next morning when you walk in, it's already tempered itself to room temperature, making it more comfortable. But at the same time, now, as soon as the next car drives into the shop, you're ready to use it. When you're done with your pressure washer, put the hose away. Whatever strategy you use to put your hose away, whether it's just on a hook, whether it's on a reel, whatever, put the hose away when you're done with the pressure washer. That way, when you're walking around the vehicle, drying it, etc., you're not tripping over the hose. It takes a few seconds to do that, but it might save you a lot of time. Especially if you trip over the hose, it's going to save you a bit of pain. Having your towels ready. So you're going to be doing a certain service on a vehicle. And for mobile detailers, this is important. I see too many mobile detailers that have a van literally full of products. They're carrying 200-300 pounds of products around. And some of those products they might only use once a year or once every 2 years. Why are you carrying that? You know what the appointment you're going to do is. If you know you're going to wash, clay, decontaminate, polish a car, and coat it, you need to bring the tools for that. There's no reason to bring an extractor when you're doing the exterior of the vehicle. There's no need to bring a vacuum cleaner. There's no need to bring all your interior cleaning tools when you're just doing the exterior. Likewise, if you're doing an interior of a car, there's no real need to bring your polishers and your coatings and all that stuff. So it's having what you need ready and not having what you don't need, because it just confuses things.
Yeah, one great tip you gave me as I've started to do some more mobile work, not in the winter. We've shut her down for the winter. I don't know. It's a tough game in a cold weather climate doing mobile detailing. But you're like, why are you carrying 6 gallons worth of product when you'll never use more than 16 ounces on a job? So
Yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
take your gallon, put it in a 16-ounce bottle, and take that to the job and leave the gallon at home. So it's a little bit of foresight and a little bit of planning, but it saves you space and weight in your vehicle, and it just makes the whole process feel cleaner and more organized when you're on the job.
Right. As an example, so we go to Omaha to film. When we're there, we generally do 20 to 30 cars. Have we ever had to refill a bottle halfway through a filming session?
Very rarely.
Yeah. And that's on high use chemicals that will do that. But, we'll mix up a gallon of water with 8 ounces of all clean and a cap full of incredible suds, put it in the foamer, and we'll do 10 vehicles with that. We're not going through that much product. And if the products you're using require you to use, let's say, half a bottle of iron remover on a car, you may want to revise your strategy and see, how can I save products? We never use more than an ounce of any product on a car. So there's no need, unless you're doing 20 cars a day, which as a mobile detailer, that's pretty rare. Unless you're doing 20 cars a day, you don't need to bring more than 16 ounces of product of anything.
Talk about the iron remover, because a lot of people are used to spraying it all over the paint, Ivan.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little bit of work here, Nick. We have a video where we did a test on the back of an SUV showing iron remover sprayed on and iron remover used the way we teach you to use it, and then resprayed again just to see how it worked. Spraying an iron remover on a vehicle, letting it dwell, watching all that bleeding. Yes, it's fun. And if you like the smell of iron remover, I know there's a few of you out there, then great. But the way we teach you to use it is one spray on the decontamination towel, one spray on the panel, agitate, get that contamination off, and then keep going. So we're using on a typical car about 23, 24 sprays of iron remover. That's less than an ounce. Whereas spraying it all over the vehicle and getting enough coverage for it to do its job, if you're just spraying it on, now you're probably using 7 or 8 ounces, or I've seen some people use a whole 16-ounce bottle for every car. Iron remover is not a cheap product. It's expensive.
Well, that's kind of how I am with water spot remover, Ivan. I tend to try to cover the whole car with it, and I use a lot of product.
Right. There's no need to. That's where the agitation comes in. And that additional product you're putting on is not doing any more work. And that's, leveraging intelligence again is, okay, how much actually sitting down and analyzing what you're doing and looking at it for okay, what am I doing here? Or like when you put 4 sprays of Envy on, you end up with 1 spray of Envy on the panel and 3 sprays of Envy on your towel, meaning your towel is not going to be working as well going further on the vehicle. It's going to give you more work, and you have to wash your towels more frequently. We film, like I say, when we're filming, we do multiple cars every day. We use the same drying towels over and over and over and over again during the whole filming session, and they're as absorbent the first day as they are the last day. We don't launder them because we know when we're drying a towel, the car's clean. They're not getting dirty. And at least on one side of the vehicle, not too much drying aid is being used. Okay. So, but with that, we end up with, you're not having to launder your towels every time. You're not having to do that. And when you're detailing, take a look at what you're doing and be critical of what you're doing and find out or ask yourself, why am I doing it this way? And a lot of the times you'll gain efficiency just by doing that. You'll gain knowledge by looking at what you're doing, the process. Is it because I saw someone else do it? Or I'm using a product that the company gave me these instructions, but now I'm using another company's product. An example, you mentioned the iron remover. Same deal. Our iron remover is designed to work with a quad fold towel, but there are some iron removers that will damage the quad fold towel. They're the ones that will tell you, spray it all over the vehicle, let it sit, let it dwell, then rinse it off. You haven't removed the iron when you do that. You removed the rust stain caused by the iron, but that iron particle is still there. And then you still have to clay the vehicle. So we combine 2 in 1, using less product and saving you time, saving you energy, saving you product, and giving you a better end result. So that's where it comes down to, looking at what you're doing. Why are you doing it? And ask yourself, why am I doing it this way? And that can change a lot of how you detail.
What's the biggest mistake that the average enthusiast makes as a detailer, Ivan?
Not the biggest mistake, but overthinking. So, you go into these Facebook groups, and we have a great Facebook group, almost 60,000 people now. They're there to help. There are some Facebook groups where if you post that you're having a problem, the first response you'll get is, well, if you don't know the answer to this, you shouldn't be detailing. Wrong. You should be detailing. You're trying to learn. You're trying to get better. And overthinking is something that happens in these groups a lot. So, an example is, okay, well, the coating, I need to cross hatch it, and I need to do this, and go over it 5 times before I'm ready to level with the applicator. We just put it on a circular motion. A coating, basically the instructions should be get it on the paint, level it. That's about it. It's that simple. But a lot of people overthink it. And when you overthink it, you get into problems. And the overthinking goes the other way as well. And that is the people that they get analysis paralysis. They're so overanalyzing the procedure themselves, how they're doing it, the products they have, etc., that they just don't detail, or they don't have fun detailing because they think, well, if I had this product, it would have been better. Or, how many steps do I need? And we'll explain it, as an example of wash, clay, and seal. You wash it, you decontaminate with the NV as your clay lube, and then you dry. That's 3 steps. But some people will make it into an 18-step process, and that's when they're not having fun. They're not getting the results. The faster we get results, the happier we are as human beings. It's just who we are. It's ingrained in us. And if you can get those results faster and get higher quality results, that's even better. And efficiency does breed quality. So,
well, and when you get results, it breeds like motivation to do it again too.
Right.
So if you want to know, like, how do I do this wash, clay, and seal Ivan's talking about, we actually have a very recent video. It demonstrates how to use rinseless wash, how to use NV, how to use the decon towel, very quick results, and very bright paint, Ivan. And I believe that video can be found.
Right, yeah, it's somewhere there.